Hello again and welcome back to the studio.
We're going to be experimenting with some texture in our little bird's nest today, and we're going to be painting on some toned paper. There are instructions in the description box below if you would like to make some paper of your own. If you're not going to work on paper, you can just tone your canvas. The colors I've used today are white, blue, green, brown, and black, but you can substitute any of these colors. We'll start sketching in using some diluted raw umber, and we'll use very loose, rough lines just to indicate the shape of the nest, the shape of the eggs and the branches. Loose lines are good because a nest is a very messy structure anyway. We're going to start blocking in now. We're just using raw umber at the moment to block in the dark parts of the nest, and then we'll add a little bit of white to create the lighter areas. Now we're going to have some fun adding some texture to our nest. I've just used a wooden skewer, and I'm just scratching some lines into the paint, some very messy, rough lines. If you don't have a skewer, you could use a toothpick or any other sharp object. You'll notice that the tone of the paper starts to shine through, which is why it's important to start with an underpainting. To paint the eggs, we're going to need to mix together some blue and some white. I mixed together a few values of the blue and white, some darker and some lighter, just to give the eggs a little bit of variation. I've mixed together a mid-tone using some white, black and a tiny touch of green for the background, and then just roughly painted it in around the nest and around the branches. Now we're going to add a little bit of black to our raw umber to create the underside of the nest, the shadowed area, and we'll also add some shadows to the eggs, and this will make our painting look more 3D. To make the shadow color for the eggs, we can add a tiny amount of black to the blue color and only add the shadow on one side of the egg. And in this case, I've chosen to do the right hand side. Once you finish the eggs, you can carefully go around underneath the eggs, create a shadow using our burnt umber with a little bit of ivory mix. We're just going to take a clean dry brush now and very softly and gently just blend a few of the colors together, just very lightly. We don't want to lose all of the texture that we created. We're going to add some highlights now. The highlights on the eggs is just a very light blue. It's not pure white. And then we'll take that same light blue and add a few highlights here and there in the twigs of the nest as well. We want to give the impression that the nest is reflecting the light from the sky, which is blue. You'll notice that the lines I'm making are very loose and messy because we want to give the impression of twigs and messiness of a nest. I'm going to add some of that same blue to the branches on the top side of each branch. We're going to mix together some sap green with some white and paint in the impression of foliage in the background. We don't need to be too precise with the foliage. We don't want it to be sharp and in focus because it's in the background. So we just really want some green and white blobs just to create an impression. It's good to add in some different shades of green, different tones of green, just to give it a bit more interest in the background. We're just about finished. We're just going to do a little bit of touching up, maybe go back into the darker areas if they've got lost in your painting, maybe re-establish the shadows. Just have a look and see what needs doing. I'm also going to go in with my sharp stick again, my skewer, and I'm going to add in some more of that texture around the eggs. And here we have a beautiful nest that would be perfect for an Easter display. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and I would love it if you would subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you in the next video.